Shaq, this is your time. Let's interview you. What is it like?
Dun, dun, dun.
What is it like playing in Greece?
It is different,
Yeah.
I would say. The WBBL, that's not called that. The Women's Basketball League now.
British Basketball League.
The British Basketball, but the women's side.
Women's British Basketball League.
Right. They
Fine.
That's £5.
They are stepping up, I would say. It's amazing to see London Lions winning by 40 points in Europe and Caledonia remaining undefeated. I would say the difference playing in Greece, it's a little bit more physical. And I've got a really young team, so they just run and run and run and run. And for me, it's funny because they're younger than me, but I'm inspired watching them go constantly up and down the court. And they just have this will, like this constant will. They don't give up. So I like to take a little bit of them in and put it into my game from watching them.
Oh, we love that. We love that. What are the three best things about playing in this league?
The food.
Yeah.
Yes, I would say no. Do you know what? The people. I would say the people off of the basketball court. There is more to life than ball. But yeah, it's important when you're away from home and you're away from your family and your friends to have like a good solid like foundation, and I think that has helped me a lot. Like I'm leaving tomorrow and I'm not sad about it. Like I'm ready to go back and, you know, be there for my team and do whatever the team needs me to do.
Out of all the countries you've played abroad, forget about London, but like what's different in this team that, like you said, like the family aspect, like did you find that in any other like team, like in Spain, Hungary, I think you went?
Yeah, I would say I found it in Spain. I want to say I'm kind of cheating because I knew a player before I had signed to the team. So that kind of helped with feeling at home, which is really important for me because it messes with your like mental, and that's a big part of basketball. Like it's not just about like what you can do physically, but mentally is also important.
No. And what is the one thing that you would change if you could change one thing?
If I could change one thing, I would say having an English person on my team. That's what I would say, yeah. That's about it, really.
See, what I was going to say, like I had a conversation, I think it was with, who did I have it with? One of the London Lion players. And we were talking about like are we a good team, or is it that we just all speak English? Whereas when you go to other like countries, it's kind of like Shequila's in a situation where not everyone's talking English. So it's like you actually have to talk basketball. And I feel like that really like changes who's a good team and who's not. So I feel like the London Lions women's, they're skyrocketing in Europe at the moment. Same with Caledonia Gladiators. The girls are doing really great. But I feel like if they make it to the playoff stage, they're going to be challenged. And I feel like it's kind of unfair on them because they have yet to be challenged, because these teams that they're playing, one, they've played them before. And when you look at it player by player, they're meant to win like this pool. They're actually meant to. So if they never, it's kind of like, do you know what I'm saying? So it'll be quite interesting to see it, like when it comes down to playoffs, which I think we should all go to a game.
Yeah.
Shequila, watch
I'm
it.
down, I'm
yeah. And then and just see how they do. Like we're gonna see a difference in like the basketball player, really.
Yeah, 100%. I wonder if actually, like, because you know, last season we were talking about Dallas, and we were talking about Kyrie and Luca and their bond and so on. I wonder how much language would have had a part to play in that as well, in terms of their coming up. Because people expected things for them very quickly, and it didn't quite look like that. It looks like that now. They're doing much better. But yeah, I do wonder how much language had a part to play. It's very interesting. Very good point.
It's interesting you bring up language. Just off the topic of basketball, watching the Beck's documentary, seeing how he was able to create a bond with like Roberto Carlos and being out in Spain and still having that bond to this day with his teammates, and they didn't speak any English.
I kind of like the David Beckham documentary. Yeah, like his players are funny. I really enjoyed that documentary. Has everyone watched it?
That's why I wear number 7.
Oh, really? Are you being serious?
Before I played basketball, I loved football and I loved David Beckham. I followed him from Man U to Real Madrid.
Really?
And when he went to LA Galaxy, I was like, I can't do that.
Yeah.
But looking at the documentary, he couldn't even do it.
I knew more about Michael Jordan because Beck's wore number 23 because of Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
So I learned more about Michael Jordan through David Beckham.
Oh, wow.
But that's why I wear number 7. But there are other reasons. But
Yeah.
I feel like
It's a good reason.
Yeah, I
It's a
feel
good
like
reason.
being like attached to a sport, it opens up other sports. So instead of like just being a great basketball fan, you tend to be like a great sports person and just like appreciate all sports.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember when I started college in Florida, and I never watched gymnastics a day in my life. And here am I watching gymnastics, supporting my friends and stuff, and it is sick. Like these girls are going to the Olympics, and it's just like crazy to see them train and stuff like that. Like everyone in their own element, and how like we just share a dinner together or share a room together, and it's just like, wow, like you guys are cool, man.
Honestly, yeah, athleticism is a bond. Like,
Yeah.
I even remember like watching like. Because before, like, obviously growing up, you had to play netball, but it wasn't necessarily a sport I wanted to play. So it wasn't really a sport that I rated. I was good at it, but I didn't rate it. And I went to one of my friends actually played for England, and I went to her game, and I remember watching that game thinking, my gosh, like, if this was the netball we were playing, I actually might be interested in this. Like the speed, the footwork, their footwork is phenomenal, and like, it was like a completely different game. And so now, like, I watch so many more netball games. Than I used to at that level, because I just didn't know you could. I didn't know it could look like that.
What's interesting about
appreciation
Sorry, go
for
on.
sports.
As
As an athlete, or like athletes ourselves, we have just an appreciation.
Yeah. For how people can move their bodies. Yeah, it's so true.
But what's interesting about netball, I feel like a lot of netball players who then go to basketball, like they're the best shooters. Shequila, and then other players that I know like can shoot the ball really, really well. Kiki, who played netball, right?
She did, actually.
Yeah, like it's just so interesting. Like that's interesting. Like
the crossover of sports.
Yeah.
Like I'm not good at football, but a lot of people that I know who can play football, they have good footwork on the basketball court. So yeah, being an athlete is a big thing.
See there, for ex-footy player.
No, not me.
no, I meant so.
I even played handball, but
did you?
Oh, wow.
Oh, right.
That's mad aggressive.
We have that here.
And what's it?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Hang in the air.
yeah,
That's why
it
you
wasn't
can do
good
all
for
them.
my shoulders.
Yeah, I can imagine.
This was after I played basketball. I was just practicing, and one of the coaches for handball was like, "Oh, I think you should try and practice for us." And at the time, it was coming up to I think 2012, and so there was a chance to play on the Olympic team.
Oh, wow.
But I got cut just before the final team.
But you actually, for someone who like just did that, it's still quite mad.
True,
like
to
you
get
just
onto
here practicing basketball, got picked up for another team, and then
It was an interesting experience because I felt like I was taking a spot from someone who was actually passionate about it
That's what I'm saying.
for
Like
a
you
long
just picked
time.
it up.
So I was kind of glad I got cut.
But if you're good at it, you're good at it.
Yeah,